Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss the Wagner's law of increasing state activities. Various economists have given explanation for the growth of public expenditure. Among the various theories of public expenditure are the important theories. Example: Wagner's law of public expenditure or Wagner's law of increasing state activities, Peacock-Weisman hypothesis, Colin-Clark hypothesis. These are all our theories has provided the how the state increasing their activities, which leads to the how the government expenditure is going to increasing. So this is theories of a public expenditure. Now we are going to start with the Wagner's law of increasing state activities or Wagner's law of public expenditure. Okay, Adolf Wagner, a noted German political economist, 1835-1917, propounded an empirical law to analysis and explains the trend in the growth of public expenditure. Wagner argued that a functional cause and effect relationship exists between the growth of an industrializing economy and the relative growth of its public sector. According to Wagner, relative growth of government sector is an inherent characteristic of industrializing economies. He illustrates this with the examples of Great Britain, USA, France, Germany, and Japan. He came to the conclusion that as per capita income and output increases in industrializing nations, the public sectors of these nations necessarily grow as a proportion of total economic activity. So in this slide we have the different layers of governments are there: central, state, and local governments. They increase both intensively and extensively. Their tendencies are increased. Wagner believed that functional cause and effect relationship between the growth of an economy and the relative growth of the public sector, and the governmental sector grows faster than the economy. The content of Wagner's law was an explanation of this trend and a prediction that it would continue. So what is the cause and effect? What is the cause? How the causes are affected? So that is the growth of an economy and the relative growth of public sector. So Wagner believed that the government is increasing spending for the maintaining the state economic activities. Okay, example, he has taken the example of Great Britain. So that is industrializing economies, how they are different uh, industrialized countries, how they are spending their money on different economic activities. Example, industrializing economies like Great Britain, USA, France, Germany, Japan, how they are spending their income and how they are getting the as per capita income and output. Okay, so whether if the per capita income is increased, output is increased in the industrialized nation, compulsory the public government is spending more money on the industrializing nations. So, statement of the hypothesis: the German economist Adolf Wagner systematically observed the historical facts of increasing expenditure activities of public authorities, particularly of Germany. He then tried to explain the cause of growth in public expenditure in terms of his famous law of increasing state activities. So, uh, the Adolf Wagner, he observed historical factors how the increasing the expenditure activities of public authorities like central, state, and local, particular of Germany. Okay, here take the Germany, because of he from the German economist. That's why he observed the data from German country. Then he tried to explain the how what is the cause of growth of in public expenditure. Okay, so what are the reasons, what are the causes for the growth of the public expenditure he observed in the German country. And okay, different layers of government, central, state to increase both intensively and extensively. It is a definitely intensively, extensively the government is expenditure is increasing. Wagner presented his law in the following words: comprehensive comparisons of different countries and different times show that among progressive people with which we alone are concerned, and increasing regularly takes place in the activity of both the central and local governments. This increase is both extensive and intensive. The central and local governments constantly undertake new functions, while they perform both old and new functions more efficiently and completely. So Wagner's law, increasing the state activities, is a universal truth in recent years. It is a fact that economic growth of a country has always been accompanied by increasing state activities and hence increasing public expenditure. So he presented the law of increasing state activities. He presented his law of public expenditure, comprehensive comparisons of different countries and different times. Okay, different countries have the in and different countries and different times the government expenditure is variation is there in the different countries following the different times also. Okay, some example we have 1929-30 we have faced the depression all over the world, and currently we have faced the uh, we have the faced the situation that COVID-19. Okay, these are all are the in this pandemic situation also the government increasing their activities. Okay, state activities or expenditure. Okay, it is a compulsory the government responsibility to spend a lot of amount on to reduce the this virus. Okay, and to reduce these pandemic situations. Okay, this pandemic situations is not only impacted on the health, it is impacted on the all over economy in the world. Okay, for that situation should be removed by the government. It is a responsibility of the government, and it is a responsibility of the people to they protect themselves with the precautions. Okay, okay, these are all are the things, these are uncertainties and disease and depression periods, inflation periods compulsory the government is intervention is a very need to reduce these situations. That's why the government is spending amount of money, lot of amount of money is going to be increasing. Okay, so Wagner's okay. This is the I have explained one of the example for taken the for the current situations which is occurred all over the world. So Wagner's also same law was based on historical facts. His law was applicable to modern progressive governments only in which the state was interested in expanding the public sector of the economy. Wagner observed that there was a persistent tendency towards an extensive and intensive increase in the functions of the state. So this means expansion of the traditional functions of the state on a large scale extensive increase relates to coverage of new welfare functions. Okay, okay, intensively extensively the functions is going to the traditional traditional functions like defense, law and order maintenance, the law and order defense, these are all the traditional functions. It is intensively compulsory. So extensive functions, now the governments increasing the welfare of the people, try to increase the welfare of the people in the country all over the world. That's why the government spending is also increasing according to the Wagner's law. So according to Wagner's law, the expenditure of the public authorizes has a continuous increasing trend due to three reasons. Their expansion of the traditional functions like Defense, administration of justice, maintenance of law and order, and provision of social overheads. Okay, for this coverage of these are all the traditional functions. For this purpose, government is increasing their expenditure. Okay, and coverage of new functions. Secondly, the activities of the state were increasing in their coverage. Traditionally, the state activities were limited to the only defense, justice, law and order, maintenance of the states, and overheads, that is the infrastructure facilities. But with the growing awareness of its responsibilities to the society, the government started expanding its activities in the field of various welfare measures to enrich the cultural life of the society. Okay, it's a very important because of the traditional functions is a very it is a primary functions, the defense, law and order, administration. It is a very compulsory to maintain the to provide protection to the people and maintaining the administration. Okay, and that is the new functions. It is a one of the responsibility by the government to provide the welfare and for the enrich of the cultural life of and sociological development of the society. Okay, for this purpose, government is introduced welfare programs, welfare functions, subsidizing the food provision of food and expenditure on education, expenditure on public health, low cost housing, and old age pension, sickness benefits. Okay, agriculture input subsidies. For these facilities were provided by the government. Those are the functions are called the new functions or the welfare functions for the well for the welfare development of the society. So this is the for this purpose the government expenditure is increasing. Third is expanding sphere of public goods. So almost all modern democratic governments have increasingly recognized the need to improve, provide, and expand the sphere of public goods. Okay, that public goods like irrigation and flood control projects, construction and maintenance of public parks, provision of education and healthcare facilities, creation of economic overhead capital, so etc. Now, these are all of the facilities are public goods or public wants which will be provided by the government. Okay, that's why the sphere of expanding the government activities is expanding for the benefit of the people in the society. For this purpose, the public goods is also providing of the public goods is the responsibility by the government. That's why increasing output of public goods uh, responsible by the government. That's why uh, the spending is also increasing of the government. Okay, next, apart from these mentioned factors, Wagner also explained the forces that operate on both the demand and supply side of the public sector activities. First one is the factors that affect both demand and supply of public expenditure activities, both demand and supply. So per capita income and wealth exert a positive impact on the demand as well as the cost of government services. Coupled with this rate of growth of population and density also affect the demand for public goods such as transport, communication, hospital, etc. in addition to the cost of supply of these services. Okay, both the government is also thinking about the both the demand and supply side of the government activities for expenditure activities. So that's why, so what is the growth of the population, what is the density, how public goods will be available to the society. So that's why the government is spending. Factors affecting the demand side of public sector activities. When we take the demand side, urbanization and industrialization, structure and composition of the population which determine the demand for educational facilities, old age pension, old age homes, specialization of labor and centralization of administration in both private and public activities. Okay, these are all for the demand side of the public expenditure activities. Okay, urbanization is the one of the important thing in industrialization. For that purpose, government is increasing their spending. And okay, government is also the people have also demand for the educational, old age pension, old age homes and housing facilities. For that purpose, government increase their expenditure. And specialization of labor, concentration of administration in both and public and private activities. Factors affecting the supply side of public expenditure. Okay, what supply side, changing scale of production of government activities, quality of production, intergovernmental grants. These are for the supply side of public expenditure. Okay, the government is also concentrated how the supply side activities would be concentrated. Okay, so production of government activities, how is there, and quality of production. Okay, intergovernmental grants provided, and so that's why the Wagner believed that increasing public expenditure was the natural result of economic growth and the continued pressure of for social progress. Okay, Wagner held that the income elasticity of government services is greater than unity. In other words, public expenditure will increase faster than the increase in per capita income of the people. Okay, that's why it is a, we should remember and we should memorize these things. Public expenditure will increase faster than the increasing per capita income of the people. Okay, income is the less than the expenditure. Expenditure is the greater than the per capita income of the people. Okay, so this statement, these words given that expenditure is increasing than the income. Okay, the graphical presentation of the Wagner increasing law of increasing state activities. As per capita income rises in industrializing nations, their public sector will grow in relative importance. Okay, the Wagner's hypothesis is increasing state activities illustrated in this figure. Example, x-axis real per capita income, y-axis real per capita output of public goods. Okay, PG1, PG2, public goods 1, public goods 2. Okay, PG1, it is the initial time of public government is producing the goods, and that is a PG2 is take the time after 4-5 years gap. That is how the government public goods is increased. PG1 to PG2, it is some gap is there. Okay, that's why compared to the PG1, it is the less production than the PG2. Okay, that is a per capita is income is also is the same. So in this graph, the real per capita output of public goods is measured on the vertical axis, and real per capita income y-axis is measured in the horizontal axis. The time is an important dimension. That is in the graph, real per capita of public goods and real per capita income realistically assumed to take place in on a historical basis over a extended period of time. Line PG1 represents a circumstances in which the public sector maintains a constant proportion of the total economic production of the society over time. Okay, PG1 is the initial period of time, and after the expanding of the state government activities, the PG2 is also the increasing. That is, government expenditure is increasing. Meanwhile, government public goods also production is also increasing. In other words, a real per capita income increase due to the economic development of the society. Okay, if the per capita income compulsory, it is which show the economic development of the society. And the constant proportion line. Okay, there's a lines, the PG1 PG2 lines occurred in this graph. It is a constant proportional there, the per capita income and the production of the public goods, that's equally increasing. Okay, along with PG2, the proportion of resources devoted to the output of public goods is expanding over time. Okay, the implication of Wagner's law can be stated in the following equations. When the real per capita output of public goods remains at the same proportion of total economic activity, PG1 is the equation is PGA by YA is equal to PGO by YO. So in other words, the income elasticity of expenditure for public goods YE is elastic. So that is the equal unity is there because of O is the it represent PGO, YO means it is the uh, before. Okay, before time. A is the latter after time. Okay, they take the gap between the one production to the another production, PGO PGA or PG1 PG2, any type of we can take the the measurement of these are the what letters. Okay, Wagner hypothesis provides the most suitable framework explaining the economic activities as the most important determinant of a relatively expanding public sector in during industrialization and economic growth. So, Wagner sought to trace our complex. Wagner believed that increased public expenditure was the natural result of economic growth and the continued pressure of for social progress. Okay, it is the a very important to note that very stress on that real per capita income is decreasing. The production of the public production of the public goods is going to be increasing. Okay, means public expenditure is greater than the as a per capita income of the people. So that's why if the government is more spending, definitely we will see the economic growth and social progress. So what is the criticism of Wagner's hypothesis? Hypothesis has many attributes. It also the several defects. Wagner's law of increasing state activities was criticized by Alan T. Peacock and Jack Weisman on the following. Wagner hypothesis deals with interdisciplinary phenomenon, but it lacks interdisciplinary approach in its analytical framework. Okay, the Peacock and Weisman has criticized towards interdisciplinary approach. Okay, Wagner does not follow the interdisciplinary approach. Lacks comprehensiveness in analysis. Wagner's law comprehensive means political science, economics, and sociology are among the several disciplines to be incorporated in any theory of public expenditure. The Wagner hypothesis excludes all these characteristics. Okay, a comprehensiveness means it is a including of the all. It is a general means including the all disciplines, political science, economics, and sociology. So it is interlinked with the public expenditure. Okay, but the Wagner is not concerned about it. He is saying that comprehensive, but the lack of comprehensiveness is there in the theory criticized by the Peacock and Weisman. It is based on organic self-determining theory of state, which is not prevailing theory of the state is in most Western countries. The theory ignores the influence of war on governmental spending. Okay, he is not discussed about the war, how much of amount spending by the government on the war situations, and it next it is stresses a long term trend of public economic activity which tended to overlook the significant time pattern or process of public expenditure growth. Okay, the theory stresses long term trend of public economic activity, which tend to overlook the significant time pattern or process of public expenditure growth. Okay, it's a long term have taken by the Wagner of the for the public economic activity, but is overlook the significant time. It is criticized by the Peacock and Weisman. Okay, thank you for watching this video. This is the Wagner's law of state activities or Wagner's law of public expenditure. Is a very important theory in this public expenditure theories. Based on the theories, we will continue to uh, other theories, Peacock and Weisman. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you. Thank you very much.